Around the world, people eat more rice than just about any other grain, and it accounts for about 20% of all calories consumed by humans. Before agriculture, rice was found in Africa and East Asia and has since spread all over the world. There are many different varieties of rice. They'll be classed as short grain, medium grain, long grain, and some of those varieties will be called sticky or glutinous. But glutinous does not mean that the rice contains gluten. No rice has gluten. Glutinous rice gets its stickiness from amylopectin. The rice we'll be making today is white long grain, and it is not a sticky rice, so it's going to be fluffy. White rice is rice that's had its bran polished off, and in the U.S., because the bran contains fiber, vitamins, and other nutrients, in the U.S., rice producers will add vitamins back into it, and that'll be called enriched white rice. The starches are easily released from polished rice, so we'll want to rinse the rice. And in rinsing, some of those added vitamins will be lost. But that's the price we pay for having nice, fluffy, mild tasting rice. And we're going to be rinsing our rice. You don't have to rinse the rice, but we'll be rinsing the rice. It'll make it fluffier. It won't be as creamy as, say, risotto, which you do want. You want this with risotto. You want this creamy texture. You're not going to want that with this. I'm planning on making fried rice with this afterwards. That'll be another video. Rice is, we cook it 2 to 1, which means 1 part rice, 2 parts water. We're going to be making a half a cup. Put the half a cup of rice in your pot. We'll bring it over to the sink. We're going to rinse it 3 times. No more, no less. The rice will become very cloudy upon the first rinsing. That's some very starchy water. Second rinsing. Agitate the rice a little bit. Still pretty starchy. Not quite as starchy as the first rinse. And when we're draining the rice, drain it slowly. The rice is a lot heavier than the water and will stay in the bottom of the pot. If you drain a little too quickly, then you may lose some rice. But if you're slow enough, the rice will fall to the bottom of the pot and stay in the pot. The third rinsing, the water is just a little cloudy. And you'll want to drain as much water as you can out of it. So that when you add water back into it, you'll get the right ratio. And you won't be adding too much water. We have a half a cup of rice in there. We're going to add 2 half cups of water. And put it on the stove. We've got it at a medium flame right now. That'll bring it to a boil pretty quickly. And once it's come to a boil, we're going to turn it down as far as the stove will go. Just enough flame, just enough heat to keep the rice at the most minimal boil. You don't want a flame that's too high, otherwise you're going to burn your rice. If you do burn the rice, don't worry about it. The burned rice will stick to the bottom of the pot. You can eat everything else on top of that. It'll taste just fine. But if you can avoid burning it, that's even better. The water has come to a boil, and now we're going to turn it down to a simmer and let it cook for 20 minutes. Brown rice will take 50 minutes to an hour. White rice cooks much faster. We'll have this done in 20 minutes. I'll see you then. It's been 20 minutes. It's time to take the rice off the stove. During this whole time, we have not lifted the lid. You don't want to lift the lid. You don't want any steam to escape, because you'll end up with too little water that way. Also, we don't stir the rice. Stirring the rice redistributes the starch, and the starch falls to the bottom of the pot and then burns. We don't want that to happen, so we don't stir the rice. That looks pretty good. And we see no water left in the bottom of the pot. It's nice and fluffy, fully cooked. And that's exactly the way we want it. Later on, I'm going to, actually right now you can put any kind of topping you want on it. Use it as a base for just about any dish. I'm going to let this cool and then fry it up. Put some stir-fried vegetables on it, have it as fried rice. I'll see you next time.